How you going, guys? Mark here from DNA Custom Paints. On this video, I'll be running you through the paint application process of our Colour Shift pearls in aerosol over the top of this Barra Motors rocket cover, supplied to us by Caroline Springs Auto Barn here in Melbourne. For more information on each of the products that I'll be using in this video and other products, be sure to head to the DNA Paints website, dna-paints.com. Alrighty guys, so I've got all the aerosol cans out in which I'll be using in this video to paint the rocket cover. So just to give you a bit of a talk about each of the products before we get into the painting. I know everyone just wants to see the painting stuff, but it's a good idea to get some, some background information on each of the products so you use them like correctly and the products work like correctly in the booth as well. So to start everything off, we've got our plastic primer. It's a great idea to give this a shake before you use it. 2 dust coats over any plastic parts. That will basically, in a nutshell, give you adhesion on the plastic and whatever you put on over the top of the plastic primer. And for this kind of scenario, we've got the Normfest 1K multi-connector primer. So this is effectively a wet on wet like primer, which means you can apply several coats, wait 30-minute flash time, and then start applying your base coat colors over the top, and there's no need to sand this primer. So when you just want to get in and get it painted, this product's fantastic and it suits the application. Now, before we jump onto the primer, it's a really good idea to use the wax and grease remover in aerosol as well. So this is going to be getting sprayed over all the parts. Now, being a solvent-based product over a raw plastic, I do recommend you doing a test sample on somewhere that you don't really see on the plastic cover, maybe underneath. Do a bit of a test sample because some wax and grease removers can have a reaction with the raw plastic. It can actually melt your plastic. So it's a really good idea. Just turn the cover over, do a bit of a test, see if it feels like it's melting a little bit or softening up. That's a good indication not to use a wax and grease remover. So we will be doing a test sample underneath, just making sure that it is going to be alright. If it is alright, we will spray a full wet coat over the plastic cover and give it a wipe down with some wipes. So same again on the metal part of the cover as well. We're going to thoroughly give it a wax and grease remover and a wipe down. Make sure that it is spotless before we jump onto the primer. So I've already pretty much given you a quick little rundown on the 1K multi-connector, so I won't really talk too much about that. So we've got to think of the end picture here. So we want something that's going to look nice and glassy, something that's easy to use, which is a 2K like product, which means that it's going to be solvent resistant from any fuels, oils, etc. So we're going to be painting a Colour Shift pearl. Now, the darker the ground coat of your Colour Shift will give you a more vibrant colour shift once it's all painted. So for that, we've got our black in aerosol. So this is the pure black. It covers extremely well, especially over a grey primer like the multi-connector. Usually you can get coverage in 1 to 2 coats. Depending on the shape of the object, it may be worth going around a 3rd time, which will get the paint in all those tight little areas. If you do have something extremely intricate, it's a really good idea to put your first coat in all those intricate areas before you start doing full coats over it. Now, onto the Colour Shift. So there's heaps of different colour shifts out there. We've been requested to paint it in Violent Crumble. So if you're familiar with the R34 GDR colour, the Midnight Purple 3, this is pretty much DNA's version of that colour. So has that awesome colour shift, some great colours in there. So just to give you a rundown, blue, purple, violet and orange. So yeah, it's going to look rad. Now, in regards to the 2K solvent resistant like clear coat, we've got our 2K Normfest like clear. So just to give you a bit of an idea how to operate this can, they are slightly different to all the other products here. We've got a little red button here. You simply pull that off. There's a button on the base of the can there. You simply just put the button on the base of the can on that button, hold it up against your chest and activate it. Give the can a really good shake for about 15 minutes. Regards to flash times for each of the products here, anywhere from 5 minutes up to 15 minutes, basing that off a 25 centigrade kind of environment. So if you're painting at home and it's like 18 or 15 degrees, like typical Melbourne, then look, allow for that extra flash time, because it will give you a better result the longer you leave your base coats, up to a maximum of like 3 hours. I wouldn't put any clear coat or pearl base coats over your ground coat anywhere over like 3 hours. You could run into delamination problems. Now, when you're talking an engine cover like this, you should be able to get it painted in a couple of hours, not a problem. All right, so you've got an understanding of the products. Let's go give it a nice wipe down with the wax and grease remover and the plastic primer. And we're pretty much right to start painting. Let's go.
I feel it.